What's up, everybody? I hope you're all feeling good today. We're going to be breaking down charts today. We're going to try and do everything that we see on the screen there, and we're also going to take some requests from all of you watching here live, showing some of the stuff that we're going to be doing in the members area as well, for the member streams, total request, TA, breaking things down that you want to see on request. But today we're doing it for everybody, so everybody get involved. How you feeling? How's your portfolio looking? Let me see those emojis. If you are a member, even if you're not a member, interact with that poll. Let me know what emoji you want to see next. You want to see a Bitcoin with the Santa hat? You want to see a bike pump for market pumps? I don't know if that's going to be as easily visible because remember, these are very small. A Kelly sad face picture or something else. Let me know. If something else wins, we'll just do another poll until we get it. Probably in the next day or two, we'll have another emoji, depending on how many people join as members. Big love to everybody here. Hope you're all feeling good. We're going to be getting started here in about 2.5 minutes. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to all the members that are here on a daily basis. I see you. We got Sawtooth Hiker. How you doing? I got your message. I just replied to you there in Discord. Kate Pulliam, how you doing? Granny's Garden. Alexandra G. Crimson Caravan Company. Granny's Garden. I'll say it again. I'll say it again. We also got Tig Old Biddies in the house. Who else we got in here? I think that's it right now. We got Philly Skills showing up. Shout me out. How you doing, Philly Skills? 1428. You want to do TA on Quant and XLM, TA on Quant and XLM. We could try and get to those for show. I will say as we move along, the requests that come in, I'm going to try and focus on those of you that are members, since you are an active part of this community, but I'm sure some of those members will want to see those as well. So we'll get on that. Atropine, what's up? How you doing? We're getting going here in just about a minute, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ding the bell. We got a lot more stuff going on here in the BitLab Academy as well as here on the BitLab YouTube. I want to make sure everybody knows how much I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Whether you're here only one time or you're here on repeat, I appreciate your patronage. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being a part of the community. That's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for being able to do this with you all on a daily basis, getting involved in the markets, helping you all see what's going on. So everybody, let's go ahead and get this going. It's roll call time, everybody in the chat right now. I want to see your emojis. I want to see your something positive. Let's go ahead and get this going. Let's get this show started. Stephen R. with the incredible positivity. You're welcome to get your ass out and go anywhere else you want to go. This is all about positivity here. So let's do this. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. How you doing? How you feeling? Let's go ahead and do that roll call right now, everybody. As you flow in, we usually have people flowing in throughout the show. We get actually the majority of our viewers later on in the afternoon. So I am, as I've mentioned, going to be doing some afternoon streams periodically here and there. Yesterday, we did a member stream at 1:15 p.m. If you are a member, go to you can go on the BitLab page on YouTube, and you'll see one of those videos is a members only stream where we break down all kind of just sort of somewhat obscure, somewhat known, some not altcoins, and breaking down what's going on in that market, how you can prepare, get involved with the degen side of the market so you can have that risk exposure. That's what this is all about. So I see Granny's Garden dropping the Bitcoin symbols. We got Love Breakers with the crown. I see, you know what? We got, oh, hey, man, Brendan Buttry is coming from H-Town. That's where I am originally from. Shout out to H-Town. Brad Guidell in the house. Matt C., my main man. We got so many people here. And of course, Dusty Hunt. Hope you're all doing well. Let's go ahead and break down what it is we want to break down today. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out bitlabacademy.com. Come up right here, hit enroll. We still have that incredible discount going on right now. If I come over here, I don't know why that's on my picture. If we come over here to my page, there's a great little promo thing that we're doing right now. This is just a little short around it, but remember, oh, it's right over here. This tweet right here, if Alexander G, if you post this in the chat, 3 people are going to win lifetime memberships. If you come in here and retweet this tweet, we're going to be drawing this tomorrow, because tomorrow is December 1st. We're going to be drawing on Discover Crypto 3 people from those of you that retweet this post. So big shout out. And remember, if you do want to sign up, it's 3 for 50. That's 50% off for 3 months. Join our community. We got an incredible community. So let's go ahead and talk about what we want to talk about today. Bitcoin is sitting here riding right in the middle of this channel. Let's go ahead and zoom it in a little bit. Again, I'm going to break down Bitcoin a little bit. I'll break down Ethereum a little bit, and then we're going to go through all the different alts that I know you all love and want to see. So keep those in your pocket, what you want to see, and I'll be calling for call outs here in a little bit. You can spam whatever it is you want to see, not now, but in a little bit. Let's pay attention right now. But I do want to see everybody hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and dinging the bell. Join us here. Join us in the community. Great squad here, says Love Breakers. That's right. We have an incredible squad here. We got Atropine coming from Bulgaria. Right on. Shout out. Where is everybody else tuned in from? What city, what state, what country? And are you in your car? Are you walking down the street? Are you sitting on the toilet, staying engaged with crypto? Are you at work with the phone in your pocket, listening along? Let us know where you're at, what you're doing. And also, I would like to know if there was a secondary time that we do another stream throughout the day, what is the time frame that works best for everybody? Is it 1 p.m.? It's 9:48 a.m. right now where I'm at. Would it be, that's 10, 11, 12, 1. Would it be 3 hours from now? Another good time for a stream? Would it be 5 hours from now? Would it be 6 hours, 7 hours from now? Let me know. What time Eastern time in the U.S.? 1 p.m., can't do 4 p.m. 1 p.m., 5 p.m. is another time that I'm looking at, or even maybe a late night stream. Let me know what you're thinking, because I do want to be able to get more people involved from all around the world and also do different types of content. We have been working to integrate some trading content, actually showing some trades, actually breaking that stuff down, not just doing TA. And I want to be able to include as many people as possible. So Tickle Biddies is at work in Orlando. Shout out there. It's 14:49 there. Where are you at? You over in yeah, we can do a Twitter poll for sure. You over in the Europes somewhere? Let's go ahead and look at what's going on with the price action. Price action, I'm looking at the 4 hour here, and this channel, we have this broadening wedge that is kind of, is it still a broadening wedge? Is it just basically trending to the upside and chopping on the way up? The interesting thing about this, and I've talked about this a lot on this channel, is we have an interesting mid-channel right here, this trend line, which feels like it's inconsequential, but interesting. Look at this. We're fighting ourselves under it, using it as resistance. And once we break above it here, we've kind of used it and bounced on this a lot as support. But would I draw this line here just from this chart? No, I would not. The reason why this line is important, and I've talked about this, if this is your first time here, I'm going to break it down for you. Don't worry. This is all about tools and resources and how you can navigate this market. This line, looking back here, look at this blue line is what we're looking at. This is where we found support. This is where we broke down from. This also is where we found support. This is the genesis of this trend line all the way back here from this point to this point. Projected out. Man, that was a good support. Man, this was a critical juncture from which we broke down. How do we know that? Because once we lost this level, the price action fell through the floor. Luckily, we double bottomed here, for the bulls, I should say. Luckily, we double bottomed here and did push back up, but we're just fighting this zone. And we talked about this yesterday. Why this zone? This zone, as soon as we start getting choppy, this choppiness is representative of all, basically right here where we just zipped up. You see this area right here where we zipped up. There's no price action within this area. As soon as we get into the area where we have previous lows, all this zone, previous low, 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 this is the point from which we broke down from. If I really, and I'm going to point this out again, whether or not you've seen it, you got to see this stuff. We're just going to outline this. Okay, this was a low, all the way up into this zone. Let's come across over here. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as we entered this box, this is where the price action started having some trouble. But this is actually incredibly bullish. And I talked about this yesterday on the stream. If we were to just zoom in on this area right here, this starts looking potentially a little bearish because we push up and then we're consolidating and starting to round a little bit. This is also maybe a broadening wedge. Broadening wedges tend to break to the downside, but we can also see that there's all this work that it's doing, clearing all the stress from the previous price action earlier back in January through May 2022. All of this price memory in the chart where there's going to be liquidity areas where different people that have bought lower or maybe entered over here and the market fell out, some people are taking profits into the zone. It's getting respectively less and less as the liquidity in the market is shrinking, meaning there's more coins. We talked about this yesterday, more coins going off exchange, going into private storage. That is illiquidity. That means there's less coins available. Yes, there's coins in circulation, but there's less coins available on exchange to trade. That coupled with the fact that there's more, right now, there's more stable coins being moved into exchange and being printed and being made, more stable coins being held on exchange than has been for a couple years. So there's less liquidity and there's more buying power available on exchange. These are recipes for success. Now, again, this does not suggest that this price action cannot come back down into the zone. But what it does suggest is that even if it does, I am a buyer anywhere in this area. I absolutely am a buyer because of where we're going. Now, yeah, Alexander G just posted that. Let me go ahead and pin that up into the comments. 3 winners if you retweet that tweet. We're drawing this, tomorrow right on the Discover Crypto Show. So get involved. Use that coupon code. It is expiring very shortly. So get involved with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And let me see, is not in here right now. Okay. All right. So looking at this, let's go ahead and delete this box. These are those levels that I'm watching. Remember, we're watching for this 42,000 mark because that also suggests that depending on when this happens, if it comes straight up here, that means we're not only clearing these previous highs, but we're also breaking a little bit out of this trend line and touching up into the zone, maybe on the way up to 48,000. The 48,000 is the golden pocket mark that we're looking for. Maybe it's pre-halving, maybe it's post-halving, but we've seen in the last 2 halving cycles that the golden pocket zone has been hit. We can actually see this if we come over here. Let's go to this chart right here, and I'm going to just, okay, let's go. See what I want to show you. See, look, right here, top to bottom, golden pocket. Let's go ahead and zoom back just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's not going to be an old enough chart. No. This is the crazy chart right here. This was just the experiment. You know what? Let's come over here, go right here. There we go. All right. Bitstamp. So this was that golden pocket from this high to this low, boom, right into the zone. Now let's see what happened in the previous cycle. These are the halvings, the yellow lines. So when did the golden pocket get hit on this? There we go. That's what we want to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Option F from the top to the bottom. Right in here. Okay. Now let's draw this over. Look at that. Touch the golden pocket just before the halving. 2 different representations of how price action happened. This was a slow accumulation at market bottom, and then a trudge up, basically rise, retrace, continuation, and then consolidation. And then we had a really strong rise again into the halving, and then a retrace out of the halving and consolidation. We've talked about this before. We also had this massive breakdown. This is that triangle I always allude to when we see it, whether it's inverted or any other shape, where it's a descending triangle, descending level of resistance, flat level of support, bottom falls out. We have accumulation. We have this really strong rise, very, very pre-halving. We can see right here, if we come right here, boom, come on. There we go, shift button. 108 bars, 326 days, almost a year before the halving. We saw in the cycle previous to this, it was, you know, a matter of a month or two. So big differences here in how fast how things were moving. Now, I do think there's a lot more players in the space now. There's, I think we're looking more like this than we are like this, but this can change very quickly if we get any positive news regarding regulation or ETFs happening sooner than expected. And remember, the halving is supposed to be, or scheduled to be, or I should adjust that to say unscheduled to be sometime in April. Now, we can't know the exact date until we get closer because it has to do with how many blocks there are. There's 210,000 blocks per halving cycle. 210,000 blocks, which average, they're not exact, which average around 10 minutes, suggest that it should be sometime around mid-April. Now, if blocks, you know, if we get a lot of congestion on our network or things move slower or faster, it could be, you know, plus or minus 2 or 3 weeks in reality. So we're looking right now roughly about the middle of April. Now, if we get those, you know, we're looking at the 3-day, let's go to the daily. If we get those Bitcoin spot ETFs approved, and there's two different theories of thought here, and there's no way we're going to know until it happens. January 2nd through January 17th, I believe, are the dates, are all the Bitcoin spot ETFs out there. That's basically, I don't want to say terminal deadline, but the deadline they're all coming up on to potentially all get approved or delayed. But I think it's supposed to be a final approval, but we never know what's going to happen with Gary Gensler, with what he's going to do. Find something else up his sleeve as to why things need to be delayed, maybe into February or March. But if all things go to plan as they should legally, then we may be getting, you know, those spot ETFs approval sometime around, where would that be? This is January 15th right there. If we get this then it starts looking like a combination of the previous cycle and the cycle before that, because I do think that if that were to happen, if we do get mass approvals on one day or over the course of a week and a half, I do think that is going to spurn a pretty large movement to the upside. Now, will it get all the way up? I mean, this is high. I was just doing speculative. Will it get all the way up into the, you know, 50s? Will it get all the way up and retest previous all-time highs? Maybe, but we just need to plan accordingly. And remember, we've always seen, and this time may be different, it may not, we've always seen a rise, retrace, consolidation into a halving, retrace into the halving, consolidation after the halving, and then continuation to the upside. Will we see that this time? We'll have to wait and see, because maybe this creates a different sort of onslaught of capital flowing into Bitcoin that this just sustains upward. And maybe it's just, you know, one of these things rather than whew. We will have to see. We have to plan every day adaptably based on the data we're seeing that day. And do remember that we have seen in previous cycles when we had things like backed, the futures, Bitcoin futures launch. It's supposed to be this big, huge event. Supposed to drive prices up, ended up marking a local top, and the price action fell pretty substantially afterwards. We also saw Coin, which is not a Bitcoin product, but it is the stock ticker, the stock that was IPO'd for Coinbase. When that was released, that also marked a local top. Will we see something similar? We can't know until we get to these events, but do remember, a very common phrase that is within these markets is buy the rumor, sell the news. Will that take place? Will there be market manipulation to FUD people out and provide that opportunity to get these new players coming into the market lower prices? That's what we got to be concerned with. That's what we need to at least be prepared for. It doesn't mean it has to happen, but you need to be prepared for all eventualities. So let's talk about this. Let's break down some TA. We got a little about 30 minutes to go through a bunch of stuff. So let's get down to, we're going to do 4-hour time frame. We're gonna do we're gonna do 12-hour and 4-hour time frame looking at this. Now look at this. Bitcoin trading right around this level. If we do lose this, I'm still looking at something. I do think at some point we're going to come into this territory, 32 to 33. Do I think it's going to happen yet, or do I think it's going to push up? As it stands right now, it's hard to tell because it's just holding this level so fine. And the closer we get to Bitcoin spot ETFs, the closer at least we get to the deadlines, the presumed deadlines, the more likely it is, or less likely it is, that people are going to want to sell. There's an underlying bullishness about where we're at in the cycle and a broader awareness this cycle than has ever been regarding the halving and also all the news around the Bitcoin spot ETFs, in addition to the fact that these different institutions now are looking and they're excited about potentially getting involved in crypto, getting involved in Bitcoin and Ethereum and etc. Got to have my morning coffee. And by the way, this was today. I mixed half a packet of Swiss Miss hot chocolate in with my coffee. Man, that's some good stuff right there. So, what was I saying? Oh, so I am looking at some point based on how structures typically work. As we see this rise, this retrace came down where to this previous high. I do think that even if we get a push up at some point, we're going to come back here, whether or not it is we go much higher or much higher first and then fall, or fall first and then go higher. Either way, I'm looking at this. And again, I'm not betting 100% that it's going to happen, but I'm prepared for the eventuality that it does. Now, if we come down to the 4-hour, what is it looking like more locally about what's going to happen? Well, first things first, let's look at the volume. Very choppy volume, nothing really concertedly coming in. And see right here, right before this big move, look at this big spike in volume right here as this starts. And then we have sustained higher volume right here, but it is getting a little bit lower. And as we come over here, we haven't gotten any real instances of volume spikes as we stand right now. Now on the 4-hour, we do see that the stochastics, which is this orange line marking when this cools off excessively down here, we can look at the percentage on the right. If we look all the way on the right where my mouse says, this gets down to 11%, 10%, large move afterwards. In fact, we can go like this, option V. Let's just see how this relates to what's going on in the chart when this gets quite low. Now let's see. So right here, didn't mark anything. So you cannot rely just on this being down. You want to look at this stochastics in relationship to other things. We also see right here, this gets quite low as price is falling, but this starts moving up, showing like sort of increased strength, increased pressure underlying. And then we get that, sort of chop move to the upside. If we actually look at this on the 8-hour, we can see a clearer picture of this. Come on, trim fuel. There we go. So here's another one right here. Option V right here kind of resets, and then it allows space for the price action to move to the upside. This is the point. Now we do see the 4-hour on the 4-hour chart that this was kind of resetting, but on the 8-hour, we do see this is kind of rolling over a little bit. So there's a lot of uncertainty that's coming into this territory is my only point. Be prepared for either direction and be prepared for a fake out in either direction. So 2-hour, yeah, see volume falling off. It's trying to do something, but it's not quite able to get up there. So I'm watching on this. We see from this point to this point, we have a target, which is roughly, if this comes down, roughly about where this previous low is. So what that means for me is if I draw a line right here and come across, if the price action comes into this area, 36.7, 36.5, this zone, if it loses this level, I do think that there's going to be some exuberance that comes out of the bulls, and this may try to make a move lower down towards that 35, down towards the 34. Now, luckily, we have a lot of price structure right here that if we come across that, ultimately, if we come down into this zone, I think we're going to get a lot of buying pressure. If we lose this zone, then, the next zone is right below us. So this is why you don't just set your buy orders right down here. You want to break them up and put a potential buy order right in this region. Where is it at? Right in this region, right in here. Oops. And then another one down here in the 33. Now, why 33 instead of 31.6, which is a previous high? 32.5 to 33, because I think there's going to be a lot of buying pressure that comes in that's front running this level. So this is what I'm seeing. And look at this. We do have a bearish signal that's right here that kind of called this breakdown. And look at all these bearish divergences that are printed here on the BitLab intelligence. Now, let's go ahead and look at Ethereum. Let's go out of this chart, come over here to Ethereum. Let's look at the 12-hour. Ooh-wee. Go ahead and come out here just like this. All right. So what are we looking at here? Go ahead and turn off all the lines. Coming right into this order block. It's kind of a liquidity magnet, but also a potential resistance zone. And we can see this rejected here, rejecting a little higher each time, but it's coming right into the previous lows of this range that we did break down from. So if we see this right here, this is the area that we are contending with right as we are looking at this currently right now. This is the area that we are just rejecting from. Now, I will say though, there is some bullishness here that this is now adjusted. We can kind of go like this. See, support, support, support. Now this is acting as resistance. So we really want to see what happens in this area, because we do have this larger trend line that comes all the way back here to April 2021. That is support, support, support. A lot of choppiness here, resistance, resistance. And so we have this confluence of bearish resistance that's sitting just overhead of Ethereum. Right here, it's sitting with this horizontal line, this diagonal line right here, and this larger time frame diagonal line sitting right above us. And this basically culminates right here at 22.74. So we're going to want to watch when price gets up into that level, because this does look a little bit like a bull pennant, but it's very oblong and sort of arcing like this. So everybody, I gotta tell you all right now that we are coming into the end of November. And it's been, what is it? See, so February, March, April, May, June, July, September, October, November. It's been 9 months we've been doing this channel. And, you know, I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you that's been along this journey. If you've been here since the first month, drop an OG in chat. If you've been here in the last 3 months, if you're newer, then, hey, I welcome you. I appreciate you being here. And make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you hit that like button. And make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, if you are new here. And let's go ahead and keep this going. So Ethereum, let's go ahead and look at some of these other ones we wanted to look at. Let's look at AVAX. AVAX. How many of you out there are AVAX holders? Let me know in the chats right now if you're an AVAX holder. Okay, so we have a golden pocket right here. I can tell by these two lines. Where are we drawing it from? From this breakdown point right here. Okay, so breakdown point down to here, and we're sitting, look at this. We rised into the golden pocket, a very normal level for price action to come back into. Bullishness would have this rise into this, have a little bit of a consolidation, and then a continuation. So rise, consolidate, continuation. And this is forming a beautiful, let's go ahead and turn off all the indicators. We can look at just the price action. Forming a beautiful, look at this, bull pennant right in here. So if we, this is going to be somewhat, we can do this like this, or we can do it a little bit more conservatively like this. Measure this out. Let's see where this goes to. Look at this, it goes right to the 1.382, which would make sense. If we drew this, let's do one more, option T, from the base all the way to the top. The reason I like to do my targets a little conservative, so I'm not chasing the exact same target everybody out there that's a bull. This almost goes up into the 2.618. It looks like this one's probably a little more relative. Eventually, I think all these bullish targets are going to be hit. But I think when we're trading, sometimes we'll get trapped in the movements in the smaller time frame. So it's good to have conservative targets. All right, so this is what we're looking at. We're seeing some bearishness here on the 6 hour. Let's look at the 12 hour. Yeah, so we got bullishness brewing on the 12 hour. Let's see. Let's look at the volume profile here. So yeah, we've gotten over the big hump on the volume profile here. We have two order blocks right above us. I do think once we start breaking out here, when we start breaking out, I do think that, yeah, this target seems very doable coming up into this region. We have to watch this zone right here, which is the one zone, this area that we broke down from, $30.49. So let's pay attention to this area on the way up that we may have some profit taking here, and the price action may hesitate a little bit before it continues on the way to the upside. We are seeing a sharp decline here on this momentum. This is on the 12-hour, but it is starting to arc over. So what does this look like on the 8-hour? So look at this. Yes, you see it rounding. You see the stochastics angled up, and then looking down at the 4-hour. Okay, we're getting, this is a little bit concerning because we do see a little bit of a decline. See, the momentum to the upside is getting smaller each time. However, these look also like they're almost trying to round, but we want to watch for when the stochastics reverse, because this will also mark when the likely, when the breakout is likely, pressing to make it happen. And this is looking like it's trying its darndest to break through here. So let's look at this on the 1 hour. It looks kind of like there could be like a little double top or head and shoulders. And there is right here, but it is holding right on these order blocks that are printed here on the BitLab volume. See these two order blocks right below us? If we lose these, then I do think we're coming down to the 1990 sort of range. Maybe a little bit lower, because this looks like it was drawn a little arbitrarily. Go like this. So that would be the 1985 sort of zone. Because look at this, we do have an M formation here. So if we lose this neckline right here, then I do think this is coming down here. Now, it's up to you based on your strategy whether you're going to trade something like this, because this is, it is a 5% move. But I'm not personally taking a lot of shorts right now when the next explosion to the upside could happen at any minute based on news stories, based on, let's say BlackRock announces it's buying and shows proof of it, or we see huge accumulation or a new positive change in regulation, or we are at that part of the market cycle. What part of the market cycle? Right here, disbelief rally. Where is disbelief rally? Disbelief rally is right over here. Okay, we're just before this hope stage. We're right in this region right here before this massive pump to the upside. Does it have to happen? No. Has it happened every cycle so far for Bitcoin? Yes. And has this happened on nearly every stock we've seen that it, over the past, boom and bust cycles? The benefit with this is with Bitcoin, the boom and bust cycles are baked in based on the halving cycle. And the altcoins are following that same sort of that cycle and liquidity. So I'm looking for this potentially coming down into anywhere in this region, potentially even to add to a little bit of the position that I have for AVAX, and then trading this to the upside. Now let's go ahead and look at, we want to look at XRP. Actually, let's not go there. I have another chart. Let's actually go to ADA first. ADA, it was looking like it's rounding. Now it's looking a little bit like it's forming a nice little flag here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let's see what this looks like. That's on the 2 hour though. Yeah. Okay. So boom, man, that's going to be a doozy. To measure this out, we could do it from roughly the middle of the flag. Where does this go to? Look at this, option J, roughly about this previous high. Seems like a very legitimate local area for the price action to move up into next. Now on the 12 hour, this is looking like there's a little bit of a bearishness in it still based on the signals being read in the BitLab Trend Fuel, but this can reverse at any time. Okay. This will take some time to change even if the price action starts to move to the upside. So 8 hour, look, positive money flow, but it is looking, see this? It's looking like the money flow, which is, this is negative money flow. This is positive money flow. Is this trying to work its way back down? If it does, what is bullish here is if this works its way back down and holds itself somewhere near, maybe just below or above the 0 line and works its way back up. So what is this looking like on the 4 hour? Come on, baby. You can do it. So just as I said, oops, where we go? Just as I said, you see how this worked its way to the downside, but it's already rounding back out. So this is what we're going to want to see. It does look like there's a little bit of bearish pressure on it right now. And it makes sense because the price action got rejected. Look at that. M formation came down to the lower bound here, so support. Now, this will be interesting because we are getting closer and closer towards the apex of this move right here, which means the area in which the two support and resistance lines basically get constricted and closer. So will this have one more test up here before then finally continuation? Because as we sit right now on the 4-hour, we are below the trend signal line. We are below the weekly VWAP, but we are sitting right on support. So let's pay attention to what's going on here. Now, if we do lose this, maybe a liquidity grab, because this happens. We have a bullish structure, but everybody's hopeful. So if this market, everybody wants us to break to the upside. But if everybody wants us to break to the upside and we have these smaller market cap coins, think about this. Yeah, it's a top crypto, Kelly. These are small market caps comparatively with global equities and stocks. These can be moved around. This could be a very bullish move if this comes down is basically a bear trap to only come up and have that continuation to the upside. So let's be patient here. Let's take advantage of the situations that present themselves, especially knowing that we are somewhere right here before a large move. So that's what I'm seeing right now on Cardano. We don't see, I don't know why the internet is so slow in the studio. All right, so 1 hour. This is trying to make its wave back over. So will we see this bounce here? I think it's quite likely that we will. Having a bounce here. The question is going to be, do we take out this high and actually test up here, or do we have a rollover, come down, and then move to the upside? All right, so let's go. We're going quick because I want to get through a lot of these with you guys. XRP, look at that. We're sitting right on support. And these are lines that I drew back in July or June or something like that. Now, what lines are these? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go ahead and zoom out of this. So we got this trend line right here that goes all the way back. When is this? December 2020. And look at this. From this point to this point to this point, this huge XRP news. The huge XRP news wicked where? Directly to this line. Boom. The price came down, found support right on the golden pocket right here, and then it was lost, and it's just been chopping around this sort of trajectory right here. Now, XRP is one of those projects that has a very fervent community because they waited so long for positivity from the SEC. How many of you all in the chat right now? I want to see y'all's messages flying by. How many of you guys have held XRP for years waiting on it to move? How many of you only got it after this news in the summer? How many of you had it before and sold it because you're frustrated with it? Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below if you're watching later. By the way, if you are watching anywhere else, make sure that you do head over to BitLab Academy on YouTube, youtube.com/@BitLab Academy. It is right here. Come and join us. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Get involved with us here and hit join. There will be something, it should say join right here. Become a member of the channel. I think we get a couple more members and we are going to have another emoji added here. See my daddy-o in chat. What's up? How you doing, brother? So let's go ahead and look. I wanted to show also, where's it at? There we go. XRP riding on this support. If we lose this level, it does not have to hold this support because this is looking actually relatively weak. Came down, price action came down. We're looking at the 12-hour. Price action came down. Look at this. Tested up where? Directly to the trend signal line here on the BitLab intelligence. Came right up to this and lost it. Not only did it lose this level, it also lost the weekly VWAP, this yellow line right here. It looks like a tennis ball. When you drop it, it drops, boom, boom, boom. And then you realize it's not a tennis ball, it's a steel ball bouncing on glass, and eventually that glass breaks. If this level is lost, I do think it's more likely than not that a move to the downside will be a bit of a bear trap and an opportunity zone for you to add to your position. So check out where that would be. But we have this golden pocket level right here, which is on the lower bound of this order block right in here, meaning that if the price does drop, I'm looking at this sort of zone right in the 57s, 57, yeah, the 57 sort of zone. If we lose this level, then I'm not trading out of it. I'm adding more down here at this level, down in the 53s. You see how this works? You can set the levels, especially when we know that this is the cycle that we're looking at right here. We're somewhere right here in this disbelief area. And I think we've actually already somewhat broken out of this area, you know, somewhere in this region over here. I think we're right in here. I am not trading out of my capital. I'm not trading out of my assets when I know that this is about to happen. I'm adding to positions, and if price drops below where I just added, I don't go, God dang it. I say, no, let me add a little bit more. Let me lower my average entry. Now let's go ahead and do quant. What's QNT looking like? QNT. All right, this is not looking as good as the other ones, but this is, yeah, so boom. Yeah, this is looking ugly, baby. But this is looking like it's trying to find a little bit of support. Option J. So look at this, bounce, 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 a little bit of a deviation. So we're watching what's going on right here. On the 12-hour, this is looking like it's trying to make a move to the upside. Let's watch this trend signal line right here at $100. But guys, you realize the tokenomics, of quant are phenomenal. I think there's 14 or 16 million tokens. And I don't want to call it a competitor of XRP, but it's a great project of something that I'm partially diversified into. I'm not going to throw a huge holding into this, but I do think this is going to perform quite well because of the type of services that it provides, the utility of this token, and the fact that it does straddle the line of decentralization, but also the sovereign sort of nature, and it's got its feet in both fields, in TradFi and the decentralized world. So although that goes against a little bit of my ethos, I do think it's going to be a very good moneymaker. So I cannot believe it's still down here at $100. This has not had that huge explosion like a lot of the alts have had so far. What does that tell you? So I'm watching that. I'm watching once it gets up here to 109, 110. And once we break this level, I do think we're going to be somewhat off to the races. Now let's do a couple more. Let's do Algorand. How's Algorand been doing? Let's go ahead and delete some of these price levels from before. We had a bit of a rise. I won't even call that a rising wedge anymore. So we had this rising trend line that has been lost. Interestingly, we lost it, came up, touched that area, and we're just kind of waiting. All the bullishness here on the 12-hour. This looks like the momentum wave's trying to shift around. What does it look like on the 4-hour? A lot of volume coming in. Look at this. A lot of volume came in, but the price was able to go nowhere. You know where you go? Nowhere. So this is a little concerning. If we do lose this level, I'm looking down here at the 12-cent mark. If we lose the 1232, 1234, 1220, I should say, right in this zone right here, which is also outlined here on the BitLab Intelligence. You see this square line right here? This is showing where the last high volume area was on the candles, and it gives you a projected sort of zone to look for essentially a stop loss or an area of interest for price to come back and touch. If we lose this level, I do think we are coming back down, likely somewhere in here, the 11s or lower. But I do think things are leaning more bullish. So on this zone, we have a bit of a support level right here. If we can hold this level and push up, then we're going to start. Ooh, it looks like there's a little bit of a triangle here too. Yeah, look at that. So touch, touch, touch. We attempted it. Now we're going to have a washout to the downside and then move. This is what I'm talking about with those liquidity moves. Let's bull trap. Let's bear trap. Now we flushed everybody out. Now let's make the move. Be patient. Let it come to you. HBAR. How you doing, HBAR? There we go. Let's see. See my dad here talking about Tele Arena. Who out there has been pre-internet? Like my dad got me back in 1993, 1994. Yeah, I've had a computer in my house since I was born, thanks to my dad. I started my first business when I was, I think, 12. I had the professional web creation as a website designer. But my dad had me involved. Basically, I got to play around in the BBS world, which is pre-internet as we know it. And there was text-based games like Tele Arena and Trade Wars 2002. And man, that was fun. Shout out to that. If any of you know that, I'd be pretty surprised. We got 97 people in the room and only 51 likes. What the hell is going on? Everybody hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button. Ding the bell. And let's go ahead and keep this going. All right. HBAR. We look like we're coming into a zone, pretty tight zone here. It's going to try to figure out which way it wants to go. And this, looking at this, feels somewhat bearish because it feels a little bit like a head and shoulders. But it could also, but man, things are leaning so bullish right now. But if we get that move from Bitcoin where it does that drop down to 35 or 33, then that's when you want to be ready with all these different assets that you're looking at. Maybe you didn't get enough of. Maybe you, felt like you missed the moves. This is where you use those opportunities. If this does come down, look at these order blocks right below us down here in 5, 5, 6, 5, 5. If we lose this, then this would be a very necessary area to target. Why? Because we have this highs, we have this bounce, we have this rejection, we have this bounce right in here at the 5.4, 5.3 sort of level. What percentage of this is about 15, 20% move? Yeah, 10%. My math was off there, baby. But if this does break out to the upside, I'd be watching this zone right here, 6.5. If it gets rejected, maybe some work before it continues on. Let's look at MATIC. We haven't looked at MATIC in a minute. Look at this. Look at this textbook beauty right here. Option T. This is a beautiful head and shoulders right there. Why is it beautiful even though it's bearish? If you're a bull, if this is a bearish structure showing potential move to the downside, then you can utilize this to identify that, okay, on the break of this level, price action may be coming down. Now, this did not hit the target. The target is all the way down here. And look at that. The target would have been this order block from over here. So does this suggest that this head and shoulders breakdown is not yet complete? Maybe we come up in here. Maybe we come down and continue to get this move down here to 69.42 sort of area. I don't know, but I know if you see something like this, you can set your target and front run it a little bit, maybe at 70 cents. And that would be a price target that is 70 cents. That would be 9%, basically a 10% increase in how much you could buy if you do have a target here. Now, conversely, if the price action does move to the upside, then what do we see here? We see, boom, we got this level right in here that's looking like it's trying to break out. What is this level? Well, we went from this low to this high to this high, and it's kind of looking like it's trying to make that move. But look, the stochastics are rolling over. The momentum's starting to roll over. So we're going to want to watch what happens in this zone. If we do start pushing up and take out this level, I would say from this neckline sort of zone right here, then I do think it's going to start moving farther to the upside. 79 cents is that area that I'm looking at. If this does break down, then I'm looking at, basically 72 cents and then down to 70 cents. Let's see if we can do anything else. Link, man, this one is the one that frustrated everybody and then shook everybody off. Let's go ahead and do so we have this high right here, this boom, boom, boom. Let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit. There we go. Option T. Looks like we have an ascending triangle. Look at that. Ascending level of support, flat level of resistance. Yes, we had a deviation here, but you can see you want to find trend lines that have the most areas that touch it. Touch, 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 touch. So on the break of this zone, 15,180, maybe a little higher, 15, let's call it 15.2, 15.25. If we take this level out, I do think there's going to be continuation to the upside. However, if we do lose this level, I'm watching for something down to 13.75, which is this low region here, or down really into this area down here in the 13s. But man, we went through a lot today. Let's see if we can do turbo mode, a couple more. Let's do AGIX. What you looking at? Ooh. Remove drawings, option T. We got trend line here that has been broken, but consolidation. I do think this will move. When it does move, this thing's going to explode. So we got to pay attention. We have two order blocks right above us, and then it's a lot of free air above that. So we're looking right here, 32 cents up to 35 cents. If we take this out, I do think we're going to have a little bit of a hesitation here. We see the point of control here from the BitLab volume right up here at 44 cents. And then I do think it's going to likely make a pretty strong case and move to the upside. Option F from the top to the bottom. Look at that. The 1.618 is 83 cents. 2.618 is $1.24. all the way up. I think we're probably getting somewhere up into these regions once the price really starts moving up into the twos, maybe up in the 250s. Man, we did a lot of altcoins on the this member stream that we did yesterday. So make sure you watch that if you hadn't yet. Big love to everybody out here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure that you head over to the BitLab Academy Twitter page right here. Retweet this tweet. It is pinned up in the top comments. If you retweet this, we're drawing 3 lifetime winners tomorrow on the Discover Crypto Show. We're drawing it from those who retweet this tweet, getting the word out there about this huge discount sale we're doing for the holidays, giving some love back to the community, getting people integrated. I love each and every one of you. If you haven't yet, make sure if you are a member or you just want more alpha, get involved with the Discord we have. John Dalton he's been providing so much great calls and content here. He's got a trade that he's got marked out here for AVAX. He's got another one here. Yeah, that same one, AVAX. But he shares a lot of stuff in here. We got scalp trades. We've got so many different things in here. Joshua Jake is providing more content in here as well with different calls and classes. We got VIP chat, VIP charts, chart requests. Make sure you get involved over at bitlabacademy.com. I love you guys. I got to head over to Discover Crypto. And with that, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Hit that like button, sucker.